Chapter 1. Ends and Beginnings. A few brief years into the pontificate of Benedict XVI, a salient fact about his successor was already known. The next pope, whoever he might be, wherever he may have been born, or whatever positions he had previously held, would not be a man who had participated in the Second Vatican Council. Unlike Blessed John Paul II, who, as a young Polish bishop, played a significant role in drafting several of the Council's documents, and unlike Benedict XVI, who, as Father Joseph Ratzinger, was a key theological advisor at Vatican II, the next Bishop of Rome will not have been present at the most significant Catholic event since the 16th-century Council of Trent. Indeed, should Benedict XVI live as long and full a life as the founder of the modern papacy, Leo XIII, who died at age 93 in 1903, his successor may not even have been born, or may have been in elementary school when the Second Vatican Council met from 1962 to 1965. The next pope's entire ecclesiastical life will have been spent in the turbulence of the post-conciliar Catholic Church. Unlike his two immediate predecessors, the 265th successor of St. Peter will not have shared in the experience of Vatican II, which was decisive for both John Paul II and Benedict XVI. When Benedict XVI was elected in 2005 at the age of 78, it was sometimes said that he would be a transitional pope, which was precisely what was said of 77-year-old John XXIII at his election in 1958. In both cases, the prediction turned out to be true, if not precisely in the way the prognosticators meant. For neither of these popes became the placeholders that predictors of their transitional papacies imagined. They became transitional in entirely different ways. By summoning the Second Vatican Council, John XXIII tried to create the ecclesiastical conditions for a new Pentecost, a new and enlivening experience of the Holy Spirit that would enable the Church to enter the third millennium with renewed evangelical energy, engaging the modern world in a dialogue about humanity's future. In the event, however, his council provoked a crisis in Catholic identity that made the pontificate of Pope John's successor, Paul VI, a long-suffering via crucis, a papal walking of the way of the cross. By the time of Pope Paul's death on August 6, 1978, both the papacy and the Catholic Church seemed exhausted and dispirited. Then, after the brief September papacy of John Paul I, came the Pope from Poland, John Paul II, who, at his first public Mass as Bishop of Rome, put evangelical heart and courage back into the Catholic Church by his bold summons to a fearlessness that would open the doors to Christ. For 26.5 years, with the able assistance of Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger as his principal theological counselor, John Paul II did what had seemed impossible in 1978. He gave the Council an authoritative interpretation, led the Church into the kind of new Pentecost that John XXIII had envisioned through the experience of the Great Jubilee of 2000, and pointed the Church firmly and confidently into the future, declaring that a new evangelization would be the Catholic Church's grand strategy in the 21st century and the third millennium. That grand strategy has been followed by Benedict XVI, whose pontificate has been one of dynamic continuity with that of his predecessor, whose accomplishment may lead history to remember him as Pope St. John Paul the Great. The turbulence of Catholic life since Vatican II is often thought to have been caused by an ongoing ecclesiastical civil war between progressives and conservatives, or traditionalists, a taxonomy that became fixed in the public and Catholic mind during Vatican II and that has proven difficult to dislodge ever since. But dislodged it must be, for the progressive conservative filter for reading Catholic life since Vatican II obscures far more than it illuminates. And what it most obscures is the deep reform that has been underway in the Church since Cardinal Vincenzo Gioacchino Pecci was elected Bishop of Rome on February 20, 1878, taking the name Leo XIII. Pecci's election, not the opening of Vatican II on October